Steph, we're officially live and you're drinking water.
I'm thirsty.
Steph, we're live on Facebook. We're trying to go live on Periscope.
I'm thirsty.
Steph, we're live on Facebook. Wow, that mic sounds great, everybody.
It's empty.
It's even backwards. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Logic episode. What is it, Steph?
Well, you think it's 25.
It's definitely 25. Look, you're not even in the camera. I told Steph we have to stand up because we're more animated and fun. If you're listening to this, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
You forgot to talk. You didn't even say words. You kind of stuttered twice, and then you said, okay.
Well, why are we standing?
Because when you're standing, you have a bigger presence, and you're more animated and fun. How do you feel about that?
Okay.
Okay, good talk. So anyway, I told
short.
Steph that we had, yeah, you are. If you're watching this, how tall is Steph? I look jacked. And she looks like she's 4'2" on her tippy toes.
That's mean.
Anyway, on this episode, you're not that short. How tall are you?
5 foot.
5 foot. That's technically really short.
Oh.
We almost get to park our cars up front because you qualify being a shorty.
Chandler!
Well, you're 5'0".
Oh, man. Dave Picardi's watching.
Hello, Dave.
Oh, goodness.
So in this episode, we wanted to talk about the fact that you always have to be establishing strategy. Were you going to say something?
Oh, I was, but I thought we were just going for the punchline.
Oh, no.
Evolving.
Yeah, so evolving in your business. And what this means is as you're progressing in business, even in life and everything you do, you always have to be capable of evolving and moving forward and not get stuck on things that you've always done. Because there's no worse statement that I think I've ever heard than we've always done it this way. That is a terrible statement because what it means is we're doing it this way because we've always done it this way and we're not ready to change. And what that means is death to the business, death to the strategy, death to growth. Right, Steph?
Right.
So what we need to do and what we need to pay attention to is as we're going through our business and as we're moving through our life cycles and as time goes on, we actually have to be paying attention to what's happening, how it's happening, what the demographic around us looks like, what other businesses are doing, what people are doing, what they're saying. And then we take all of these things and we compile what we're doing into a sort of way to always continuously move ourselves forward. And this comes into what we also say is you always have to be listening. And if you're listening to the consumer, you're listening to employees, you're listening to your community, you're listening to everything that's going on around you in the economy and all your local business stuff. If you have a local business, you're going to be paying attention. You're going to know what direction you need to move. And you're going to want to make those pivot shifts every now and again. So you don't get into the we've always done it this way mentality and crush your hopes and dreams.
Mm-hmm. There's always things that come out that are bigger and better and more helpful or tools that you can use to launch your business a little, that one step further. There's things that are always coming out now. I mean, like technology is amazing these days. People come up with so many crazy ideas that there's so much out there that if you're always just like, no, I've always done it this way. And, I only make phone calls. I don't like texting people or I don't want to email people or a lot of people like these days, they want to like have the newest, coolest thing and they want to see businesses either using those things or implementing it, in their own business that like, you just have to do it. Like, it's not that hard. Technically, things are getting easier for you. So doing it the old way may not always be the easiest, most efficient way to do things.
Yeah, and you have to be able to adapt and pick up new strategies and modify strategies. And sometimes you're going to pick up new things. You're going to try it. It's not going to work. So you're going to throw it out. Maybe try it 2 or 3 more times to make sure it actually works and make sure you didn't screw something up. But you're going to adapt to new strategies, adopt new strategies, use them for a period of time and bring in the new ones that work, take out the ones that don't. And then that's how you're going to continuously evolve. It's try something. How did it work with me? How did it work with my employees? How did it work with the community? What was the feedback? Everything was good. Everybody liked it. Okay, let's keep it. Everything was bad. Nobody liked it. Okay, why? What happened? and then figure it out. Was it just a terrible idea, or did you screw up something along the way because you didn't plan strategically? And then based off that, you can say, okay, let's try again, or let's scrap that. Let's try something new. And that's the idea of always trying to increase your efficiency of processes, increase the ideas that you're putting out, bring out new helpful information, whatever it is you're trying to do. All these little collective things that you introduce over time create new big opportunities in your business and create new big opportunities that are going to allow you to propel yourself forward in the long term. Mm-hmm. And we always talk about the long term because what really matters, and I think a lot of people don't understand what long term even means. You say play the long term game, and they're the monkey's playing symbols usually. So what we need to understand is the long term isn't, I haven't done anything, so I need to figure out what to do right now because I forgot to run my business the last 4 years. What it is, it's I have systems, I have strategies, I have processes. I'm always improving those processes. I'm trying to figure out why my staff isn't doing things or why they are doing things. I'm figuring out what the customer is doing or why they're not doing things. How do I communicate? How do I make communication better? And then once I figure that kind of stuff out, it's a continuous process kind of mindset where I'm always improving those things. And what that does is it sets me up in the long-term goals. So that way, if I continuously do these things, I'm already a year, 2 years ahead of all the other small businesses or the regular businesses who aren't doing anything. Mm-hmm. Because if there's one thing we've noticed with a lot of small businesses, it's they don't really have any kind of strategy or any kind of information going on. They just kind of opened something because it was cool.
Yeah. And then 5 years down the road, they're trying to figure out their processes before they have to close their doors.
Yeah, exactly.
And then it's just a disaster.
Yeah. And this whole thing comes out because, and when you think about like when the internet was invented, who invented it? Al Gore? Mm-hmm. Remember, were you paying attention to say he invented the internet?
No.
Oh my gosh, never mind. This is like when I didn't know what the Cheers song was.
The what?
The Cheers song. When everybody knows your name.
Anyways,
or something like that.
That's right.
But so when you think back to the beginning of like the internet, the beginning of blogs and the beginning of MySpace and Twitter and the other one I can't remember that was like Facebook. It had a 4 in it or something, not Foursquare. But when these first came out, people were like, oh, I'm not doing a blog. That's stupid. Why would I write words on the internet for other people to read? And then MySpace and Facebook came out and Twitter and everyone was like, well, that's stupid. Why would I go on there and type stuff up? Nobody cares about my life or what I'm doing. But what we didn't realize was, and with the advent of reality TV is everybody cares about what you're doing all the time. And everybody wants you to know what they're doing. That's why you always see people posting about like all the exciting, happy stuff they're doing because they want everybody to know. And then they want to snoop in everybody else's lives. It's just the common human curiosity.
Mm-hmm. Like you post like 5 times a day.
Yeah, I post
and then there's me. I think the last time I posted was 6 days ago.
You never post. And so when we look at the people who did really well when all this stuff was coming out, they were the ones who jumped on it early, who started working with it, started building it, started making things happen. And now they have a big presence, or they've been able to build businesses off the backbone when there wasn't 500,000, 5 million, 1 billion people on the platform. Mm-hmm. Like when we started Stone Age Fuel, we started a blog on Blogspot back in the day. It was stoneagefuel.blogspot.com or something. Yep. We just wrote a blog every day and wrote a little workout, but nobody else was really doing that at the time. And nobody was writing about like the nutritional industry and supplements. Mm-hmm. And so we started getting a following from all over the world on our blog, which led to traveling and led to opening the actual gym, which led to this kind of stuff that we're doing. And so if you can be an early adopter on a lot of these, especially like the social platforms and all the new stuff that comes out, there's a good chance that you're going to be able to build a business off the backbone of whatever that is. And that's another example of the evolution of how to run your business and building processes so they're always a step ahead of the game.
Right.
I talked about this a lot. You look like you had something to say, Steph.
No.
Oh, I talk about this a lot, though. There's a cool process efficiency deal that I found what was it, the hospital when we were talking to them?
Oh, yeah. So
they have a process where they take their lowest level employees and they have them pick one process in the organization. Mm-hmm. And their goal in that organization and that process is to take it and make it better. They have to find one piece of it. It can be the smallest thing in the whole organization or one of the big things. And they have to present on how it can be improved and how it can be made better. And they do this as like a monthly process improvement strategy, which is great because now you have the bottom level of your employees and the bottom level staff actually improving things from the bird's eye view, because these are the people who are on the ground, who are paying attention, who know what's happening, and they know why these processes are going wrong usually. Whereas if this was at the executive level, we'd have to have a 17-year study because the executives don't generally talk to people at that level.
Right.
What do you think, Steph?
That's pretty much about right.
That's pretty much about right.
Yep.
So the key point in this whole thing, and this podcast was Steph's idea, so I told her she better talk a lot. And she said about 3 words. So the key idea behind this is don't get in the mindset that we're doing it this way and this is the way we're going to do it and this is the way we've always done it and this is the way it is. You need to get in the mindset of this is what we're doing now. This is what we could be doing 6 months from now. This is what we want to be doing 2 years from now. And this is where we think we're going to be at. And so when you try to make those different milestones and try to hit those different pieces, you're always going to be in a position to where you're trying to improve your business and you're trying to improve your processes and strategies. And it needs to come from all levels. So executive, if you have that level, or owner, if you're at that level, mid-level management, employees, everybody needs to put in their information, their ideas to improve your processes and strategies in order to evolve your business. And don't forget about the customers, because in the customer-centric economy, we need to listen to them because it's driven by the customer. So you need to listen to what they say and what their feedback is. And when you take that, you can take all the staffing levels of feedback and processes and combine it with what the actual people, the customers are saying, and you can use that to improve your processes in the long term and continuously improve them as you go.
I think a big thing too, with like social media and all of the like interwebs things, like we have a client that's a perfect example of how even just using like Facebook business and like Instagram, to promote their business, and not even like paid promotions, just like putting good content out and like getting themselves out there in front of other businesses, maybe, that they're competing against. Even just that little piece of like actually doing social media and actually using the platforms, like they're, what am I trying to say? They're
behind the times?
No, their leads have gone up a lot. Their engagement, even with just people on their platforms, has increased a lot. And I know, like, we just put a case study together on it, but I think a big thing too is like people are just so, I mean, I'm bad about it. Not like I'm like Chandler trying to put free, like, knowledgeable content out every day, but like, people are just so against, like, oh, I don't want to get on, Facebook and Instagram and YouTube and Twitter, and like people just don't want to do it. But if you're a small business, like there is zero excuse as to why you shouldn't be on every single platform, like even down to the ones that you are like, oh, people don't use that. People use it. I used to think nobody uses LinkedIn, and I'm still not great about using it, but like Chandler gets lots of people looking at his profile, following him from LinkedIn. Like even the ones that you don't think are very like relevant, be on every single one of them, whether it's your personal brand, whether you're on it just to kind of get more in the community, or it's your business, whatever, like it has to be done.
Yeah, exactly. And looking at like the social platforms, some people think like, well, this is another example of the short-term mindset. Like, well, if you're on these platforms, how are you going to drive business? And when you look at it, like, that's not where I'm at yet. I need to build what I'm doing here and see if this is even a viable option. But hey guy, I know you read this on a blog, and I know you think that blog is like the gospel, but in reality, what we have to do, guy, is understand what's going to work on these platforms and in our demographics and with what we're doing specifically. Because I know the guy over here is a theoretical practitioner, but I need to be a practitioner as well, because if all I do is read blogs and say that's the gospel, I'm never going to get anywhere because I'm not actually doing it. And if you're not in the shit doing it, you're never really going to know and understand what's going on or why it's happening, or if it's a viable option or opportunity to jump onto. Like Steph's saying, LinkedIn, I get on there and I post one thing every day on LinkedIn. I write on their publishing platform and it gets shared and people click it and people like it. And then it gets me a lot of people to connect with. And the idea with doing that kind of stuff on LinkedIn is building yourself up as a thought leader. It's not the guy who's on there like telling me to buy the next greatest multi-level marketing supplement.
Oh God.
That's not what it's about. It's about being a thought leader and establishing yourself as a thought leader. And that's it. So wrapping this up and looking at what we're doing, you're always trying to evolve in your business. You're always trying to evolve your processes, and you're always trying to build on your strategies. And you want to stay away from the mindset of we've always done it this way. And you want to turn into the mindset of we're doing it this way. But what if we tried it this way? What if we did it this way? What are people saying over here about it? What are people saying over there about it? What are my customers saying? What are my employees saying? What are the high-level business owners or executive staff saying? And how do we compile all this to create strategies to continue moving us forward? So you don't end up in the dark ages where people don't even know who you are anymore, or you're a company who doesn't know how to use like social media, or you're a company who doesn't know how to do a lot of this stuff. So then you have to contract it out to figure out who does. And then you have to spend a lot of money training new people on it.
Yep.
So evolve your business, evolve your life, evolve yourself. Do you have any last words, Steph?
No.
All right, guys, this is Chan's Logic episode 25, Evolving Your Business. If you have any questions, post them in the comments. If you're listening to this, just send me an email, chandler@stonehfield.com. See ya.
Bye.